We should be good to go. 30 seconds. Sorry for the technical issues I've had today. Okay, we're good to go. Yeah, we're good to begin, May.
Okay. The second meeting of the 6th Board of Directors on Wednesday, August 17th, 2022 at 5 p.m. has been called to order. The Durham College Student Association is situated on the traditional lands of the First Peoples of the Mississaugas of Squealog Island First Nation. We recognize the land on which we gather are covered under the Williams Treaties and rest within the traditional territory of the Mississaugas, a branch of the Anishinaabe Nation, which also includes Algonquin, Chippewa, Ottawa, Ojibwe, and Potawatomi. It is through the treaty process that we are able to live, learn, gather, teach, and prosper in this region. We acknowledge with gratitude this land and the Indigenous peoples who have cared for and continue to protect Turtle Island and its resources. We commit to the responsibility of reconciliation and the work of increasing awareness and understanding of our shared history. We do so by recognizing the past and working towards a shared future as friends and allies. Adoption of the agenda. We move to have the agenda for the second meeting of the Board of Directors be adopted.
So we need a mover and seconder.
Any
I'll move. Jenna will move.
Jenna will move. Who will second?
Deborah? Okay.
Ro will second.
Okay.
Next.
We need to actually vote.
Pardon me, sorry?
We actually need to vote on it. So.
Oh. All those in favor?
Aye.
Jenna and Rule and
I also support.
All those opposed? Perfect. Any declarations of conflicts of interest? I'll take that as a no. Next, we move to adopt the minutes of the previous meeting. We move that the minutes of the meeting of the Board of Directors held on May 18th, 2022 and June 20th, 2022 be adopted. All those in favor?
We need mover and seconder.
Sorry.
I'll move.
Moved by Jenna. A seconder?
A second.
Seconded by Deborah.
Yep.
All of those in favor?
I'm also in favor of the motion.
All those opposed?
I'm in favor, by the way.
Everyone is in favor. Raul has a thumbs up.
Perfect. So that brings us to
next to our motions. Motion A, that the health plan RFP process and its amended timelines. So the background is due to the change in both the scope and comprehensiveness of the healthcare plan, a decision has been made to delay the RFP process until the 2023-2024 academic year. As a result, there will be a motion authorizing the RFP must be amended to reflect the new timeline. That resolution, which is 2021-0806, be amended by replacing paragraph D as follows. The committee is instructed to make a recommendation regarding a health insurance plan provider by April 30th, 2023. Can I have a mover and a seconder?
I will move.
Moved by Jenna.
Motion is seconded by me.
Deborah.
So Ferris, maybe you want to do this quickly, talk about what's going on here. Okay. Ferris, you're muted.
I think Meg's background covered it, and also the international office was hoping that there would be a bit more time to research and study, and so felt like it was also better to do a little bit more digging this year and comparing plans instead of rushing to get it out the door. And if the international office, which is a big reason why we're doing this RFP to bring the plans together, felt like that, and we didn't have any strong reason or any strong reason to really push against that. And certainly it's giving us the time to actually learn more about the international plan and try to make it actually better instead of kind of keeping things going as is. So all in all, especially with their feedback on that, it felt like the right decision, especially with the timelines. This board will still be dealing with it, as the report says, because it'll be going out this term or early in January of 2023. And we'll be finished, and then the new plan will kick in for students starting September of next year. So
Yeah, thank you for the explanation, Faris.
no problem.
That's appreciated. I just thought it would be a good idea, like, one of the previous meetings we had, when you gave us some extra information about the Media Hub.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. No, I
So that
appreciate
kind
you
of
asking. If there's ever a time too you feel like you need more, please let me know.
Okay. Yeah, so in this situation, we are now having the meeting. The motions have been moved, but probably for next time, it'd be good to have some extra information along with the agenda before the
Sure.
meeting,
Yeah.
so we can prepare.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Usually, yeah, for sure. And I think one of the disadvantages for this meeting is that we didn't have our traditional standing committee, but starting in September, once everyone's schedule is locked, we'll always have our standing committee meeting 2 weeks before our board, which will allow us to have more time to cover it. So I appreciate that, Deborah. That should be taken care of with the
You're
standing
welcome.
committee.
Any more questions? Can move to a vote if there are no more questions. All those in favor?
Aye.
Seconded by Deborah.
All those opposed? Item is moved. Next is point 7, report of the executive chair and general manager. Ferris?
So I'll just touch on a couple topics, and I'll open the floor. So if there's follow-up questions that are desirable, please don't hesitate to ask them. I thought I'd focus on operations for September, update of the Media Hub project, and sort of next steps on our capital. So updates for September. Our office will be open every day. Our staff, depending on their jobs, we're doing what DC is doing, which is working with staff based on their jobs to determine exactly how much they're in the office. But the majority of staff are in the office 3 to 5 days in this September, and the office will be open all week to make sure that students are always supported. Our food bank is reopening fully, really, in terms of in-person opportunities. Obviously, the student center, booster juice, and a quick to-go sort of coffee concept are all going to be launching for September. So those hours are going to be standard and set. So the student center will be sort of awake, alive, and occupied by hopefully students and certainly staff to ensure students have the option of getting all kinds of support and also really having a social place to hang out that has activations from staff and support. So those are student center hours. I thought I would quickly share some highlights from our upcoming orientation week, and there'll be more marketing coming out in the next 2 weeks to really highlight this. But we have 2 weeks of events planned with the college, the Ontario Tech Student Union, and sort of with our team. Those start on Saturday, September 3rd with a move-in day where we're providing some entertainment, a DJ, and some music for students moving into res. And then the real events start on Tuesday, September 6th, which is the day before class. That's the DC block party, which is really at Oshawa. So it's an opportunity for students to come out who are on campus for their orientation. We'll have a lot of things from a video game bus, photo booths, 360 photo booths, a ton of different games, a ton of different food trucks. Axe throwing is actually the next day. It's not on that one. We have 2 giant inflatable, like a giant wipeout course and relay that'll take a huge amount of space up in front of the college, and a couple other fun activations of that nature. And obviously lots of free food and education for students in terms of the college services and then DCSA services. So that'll be the Oshawa block party. On that Thursday, September 8th, there'll be the Whitby block party, which will include a show from the Great Canadian Lumberjacks, axe throwing, a bunch of food trucks. And then that night at Whitby, we'll do a drive-in movie with the college. With our amazing partners at the OTSU, we're doing a late skate. So Wednesday, September 7th, the first day of class officially for DC students, that night from 10 to midnight, students will be able to go to the campus ice center, enjoy some music, enjoy some skating, get some skate rentals, and sort of have some late night programming. I'm skipping over sort of the more generic stuff. The softball field is having a grand opening, DC's new softball field. There's not a ton of activation there, but we're there with some ice cream and some giveaways and some fun, just to give a little bit of life to it. We are doing Dirty Bingo with our partners at the OTSU. We have an amazing performer coming in from Canada's Next Top or Drag Race, who's performing this season, is actually still in the show, and doing a show at 2200 North, which is the pub at the campus ice center. And that show is really focused on consent. We'll have information for both the university and the college on consent on campus and all that. And so hopefully that's a fun way to get to that point. And so then we're going to do one more thing. And where is it? Sorry, here. Campus E-Cup. So exciting news will be the OTSU is launching, or the Ontario Tech is launching a small esports arena in their new building. And so we're launching the first ever Campus E-Cup to be similar to the Campus Cup. So there's a tradition of our 2 varsity teams competing in esports. This year it will be at their new arena, and obviously next year it'll be at ours, and it'll rotate every year. And hopefully we'll start a new tradition of a sort of inter-campus sports. We have some mental health focused events with our support hub team and crafts. We have a student center party. Really that's our esports club, a lot of free food and a lot of discounts and music just to engage students at the student center, get them coming to hang out. We have an awesome drag brunch planned with another star of last year's drag race, Tainomi Banks, some breakfast and a chance for all students, but hopefully students, particularly from the LGBTQ plus and allied communities, to connect with each other, to connect with campus services, to have a great show and to have some great breakfast. Then we're doing a silent disco with the OTSU Outdoors at Polanski Commons. That means there's going to be 3 DJs, 3 different sounds, and students will have headphones and get to decide kind of what sound experience they want to include. And finally, to cap off the 2 weeks, sorry, I missed an event. Saturday, September 10th, there's a big City of Oshawa student orientation. There's a DJ party, Memorial Park, and a bunch of other events that we're supporting through the City of Oshawa and trying to build that relationship with the Chamber of Commerce. And to cap our week off, we're really excited. We're going to take 150 DC students to the Jays game on Friday, September 16th. It's the college and university night. There's going to be thousands of students from GTHA institutions attending the game that Friday night. And every DC student that comes is getting a custom Blue Jays hat with the DCSA logo screen printed on there from the Blue Jays. So we'll be providing transportation from campus to the Sky Dome and back. So just another opportunity for students, especially new to the region, to kind of get to do a little more exploring. So those are the sort of the high level orientation activities. There'll be a schedule produced, which I'll make sure you'll all get copies of, but just want to get people a bit excited. And we've met with risk management and gotten the approval for axe throwing, which is going to be really fun to add to our on-campus experience. And yeah, so we're really excited to have an in-person on-campus orientation. I know students have been hoping and really asking for it. And we're really hoping that everything continues to trend as is, and we'll be able to deliver the schedule here as planned. That's orientation. That's on-campus operations. I want to give you an update on the Media Hub. Media Hub construction has started. If you walk down the hallway where security is, it's all hoarded off. The walls are already all down. All the old glass is out. So it's really exciting. Our updated timeline from the construction company is December 23rd. So that'll be my Christmas plans. doing our final inspection. So let's hope it's actually done then, which means in January we could be open in the new Media Hub location, which would be incredibly exciting. I will say I would not be shocked if I come back to this board in the fall and say that actually December has been moved to February, as is construction life. But it started, it's moving, and it's really exciting. The two items that will delay us the most are glass. We have a beautiful all glass design across the whole hallway to allow students to really see into the space and really say like, hey, what's going on there, and take advantage of it and get excited about it. But glass obviously has quite a back order on it, but the work has started. It's going to be great, and it's going to be a signature project the college is really, really excited about. We've gotten approval already for a little bit of an edgier design in terms of some black highlights and some colors on the outside that will really help it pop from the rest of the landscape. So really, really exciting. And for us as an organization, beyond just creating a new space for our students to use to learn more media, and those both in those programs and non-programs to use those whisper rooms. The other exciting part is it'll introduce a new DCSA front desk to the campus. And ultimately having a front desk where the old Riot Radio front doors are going to be a huge asset in that hallway, which means we'll have staff located at now 3 front desks: the main Oshawa Student Center, the Whitby Student Center, and then the Media Hub starting in January, which means we'll really be able to service students right there instead of necessarily making them come to the Student Center for other items. The esports arena, Booster Juice, that's going to be their job to drive students to that building and make that building fun. But we want to be able to serve students in all these locations because there's such high traffic. And so that's really exciting. It's really exciting the project's actually started, because it gives me hope that the deadline may actually be real and we'll be moving in. For those of you who are wondering, our Riot Radio team is now set up in the boardroom, or the former boardroom, in the second floor of the Student Center. It looks great, actually. They've done a great job situating themselves and making it homey enough. And so they'll be good to serve all of our commitments to the college and all of our student shows throughout the fall with no interruption out of that space, which is great. So even during construction, we'll have no interruption to our ability to serve the classrooms and the student run shows that we're committed to doing. So that project is up and going. Meg, I'll leave this part to Meg to talk about sort of what we've been doing in meeting with other schools and kind of where hopefully that's going to lead, and I'll kind of cap it at that.
Yeah, can I ask a question before Meg goes ahead?
Of course.
You've said a lot about activities that we are going to have for like students that are returning and probably new students. I suppose it's for majorly for them. So do you expect board members to be present? Okay, that's just I thought probably Megan and Natalia may be present, I suppose.
So what I'll say is Meg or Charles will totally share the schedule, and it will be great if board members are present and able to help out, but there's no commitment. Meg, as she'll talk about now, is going to be tapping you folks to help her with the Student Center research project and doing some tabling after orientation week with that. But there's no expectation the board members would attend these events. We've hired a student events team, but please, if you see events that you want to come out to, please do. And certainly we'd always love to have that, but there'll be a role for board members formally in what Meg's doing as a project and looking for student input separately.
Okay, that's good.
I have a doubt, can we also be part of these events, like as a members of the board? And also, like, I don't see these events in the event space, so that if I can share it with someone and then maybe they can do it. So what is it for that? Yeah,
you'll get a calendar. They're actually all on the DC calendar. Unfortunately, we're just doing an issue where Sal's, who's amazing and we love, but they loaded their 47 Sal's workshops and they tagged them all as O week. And so what it's done on the DC calendar is actually bumped all the events way down. And so we're just working with the DC team to see if there's something we can do to separate Sal's or to make it stand out so you can see the events pop up. But Raul, Meg, or Charles will share a schedule in the next week. We just launched our brand. We're launching the Blue Jays at the end of this week. And so we'll have marketing sent to you all, especially around the Jays one, because it's the only event that will be ticketed in terms of for cost will be the Jay's
Okay.
event. So we'll make sure to get you that information. And the answer to your question is, of course, any event that's happening, board members are encouraged to attend, and like any student are. There's none that are exclusive to any class of students or any group of students.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for the explanation. And what the idea I had, was like when I was on the grant review team for the Ontario Trillium Foundation, we just had like, community, some community events, and we would just be assigned some, like little duties, like just reading out a speech, something like that, like you're having an event, or you're having a series of events. I was just thinking where board members would be, involved would be to, just to read out a speech or something on behalf of the Durham College, Student Association, that kind of thing. Otherwise, I mean,
Yeah, no, there's no speeches really. There's only going to be one or two formal areas where that would ever happen, and Meg's got that covered.
okay,
And we have DC students hired to be our on-ground event staff.
okay,
So really, we'd love to have you there. And I think once you hear sort of what the project that Meg is leading off for our next
Okay.
big capital project, I think that's where you'll see there's a good role where she's wanting to have board members involved, tabling and speaking to students.
all right, thank you.
But it'll be just after orientation because it's too hectic to really ask students much for during orientation other than, hey, how are you doing? Here's some fun, here's some information.
Okay, thanks, Harish.
Any more questions for Ferris? So we are looking to revamp our student spaces, and we want the student center obviously to be inviting for fellow students to come hang out, grab a bite to eat, check out the booster juice, check out the esports lounge and whatnot. So over the past 2 weeks, I have been meeting with other student leaders and discussing the student spaces they currently have, talking about what works, what doesn't. I'm so sorry. Talking about what works and what doesn't work and what students are drawn to in their centers. So right now we are doing research at other schools, and then hopefully in the fall, as students are back on campus, we're hoping to have some table opportunities to ask fellow DC students what they would like to see in a student center and what would make them drawn to our student center. So that's where we're looking for you guys to be involved, to join us with tabling, set up a table in the pit area, talk to fellow students, ask them questions, give them some food, because obviously students love free food and that's what draws them in, and basically just have honest conversations about what they would like to have in our student center in the future. So that's what I've been working on these past few weeks.
Hey, thanks for the explanation, Meg.
Do you have any questions?
No, I think you will be giving us some more details closer to the event.
Yes, I will.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Perfect. Moving on to section 8, the report of the standing committee. We move to have the report of the standing committee adopted. May I have a mover and a seconder?
Can we have an idea of what's in the report?
Yeah, we can definitely do that. Let me just.
I will move though, because I read it earlier.
So if you read, it's not really an interesting report. The standing committee tried to meet on June 15th. The quorum was not present, so the meeting was adjourned. That's the report. So
I do remember that. Yeah, there was no quorum. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Do we have a seconder?
Is anyone able to second? I've moved the motion.
Rahula and Deborah, if you're able to hear us.
Yeah, I can hear you. It's just that before I second, something like a report, it's it's different from just moving motion. This is a
Yep.
report, right? So I would really like to be able to read through the report before.
Totally. Charles did just read the entire report.
I know, I do understand that.
But totally understand.
Yeah,
Rule,
okay.
are you able to second?
Can I see it, Charles? Thank you very much.
Rule did have his thumbs up on the screen. So
Oh, okay.
All right, that's good.
Okay.
There
Thank
you go.
you.
Thank you very much.
all those in favor?
In favor.
Aye.
All those opposed? Everyone has favored. Moving on.
Sorry, the agenda's not up yet. Sorry.
Is it-
Many screens.
That's okay. Other reports. So section A, R 2022-0201, Student Center Modernization RFP documents.
And I'll present the report on behalf of the management committee, but please feel free to chime in, make comparisons as necessary. Basically, at this point in time, the management committee, in terms of the student center project, is simply seeking authorization from the board to engage in an RFP process to identify an architecture firm to lead us in delivering what is the product of the consultation that Meg has been doing with both other schools, and Meg and the board members would be doing this fall with students at large. Because this is a process which ultimately reports to the board, the management committee requires the board's permission to proceed with the process of creating the documents and stuff like that. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Any questions? So there is a resolution out of it. So that's on the screen, sorry.
The resolution is that the Board of Directors authorizes the Management Committee to hold a request for proposals to engage an architecture firm to lead the process of modernizing the Student Center at Oshawa campus. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please?
I will move.
I'll move the motion of the resolution.
We have Jenna and Deborah. All those in favor?
Aye.
In favor.
Looking forward to that makeover. She definitely needs it.
Yes, she does. All those opposed? Moving on. Section B, R 2022-0202, Board of Directors composition, that the Board of Directors amend the bylaws by adding section 6.12 as follows. 6.12A, the directors of the corporation which held office on June 19th, 2022 continues to hold office notwithstanding section 6.6A of the bylaws. B, the following positions on the Board of Directors are deemed to be vacant and subject to election in the fall of 2022. I, Director from the School of Business, Director from the School of Health Sciences, Director from the School of Skilled Trades and Apprenticeship, and for any member which resigns or is disqualified from their office before September 15th, 2022, unless that member is enrolled in the Science, Engineering, and Information Technology program. And lastly, C, section 6.12 is repealed on April 30th, 2023, or on a date to be set by the Board of Directors. And
Okay, so I'll explain this because this seems absolutely like gibberish. The school, the Durham College, previously to June 19th, 2022, had schools. Our membership classes align with the schools. So when we had 9 schools, we had 9 membership classes. What happened on June 20th is that they realigned, which created a few issues for us. So the first issue it created for us is that the Raul, who was elected from the School of Business, Information Technology and Management, is no longer a student of the School of Business Information Technology and Management, because that does not exist anymore. So it basically created a system where we had two members from the School of Science, Engineering, and Information Technology. Under the bylaws, under the strictest interpretation of the current bylaws, then the board would be forced to declare a membership that Raul will see on the board vacant. This stops that. This point blank stops that you continue to hold office even though the schools don't exist as they were. Under the strictest interpretation of the bylaws, our membership classes, none of our membership classes actually exist anymore, except the School of Media, Art, and Design, because the names of the schools have changed. So the first thing this does is that it just says everyone continues to hold office. The college made the change. We were given a month's notice to figure out how to make the change work. And now the board is saying, yeah, everyone continues to hold office. There are vacant seats on the board. So the School of Business, which had a member elected to represent it, is no longer have a member from it. So you would need to add someone from the School of Business. School of Health Sciences and School of Skilled Trades never had members elected for them, so they will need to be continued. If a member resigns or is disqualified before September 15th, which is the date in which the membership meeting is called, then we would add them. Resigns would be most likely, but there is the prospect of one disqualification, which we'll not get to yet. So that's the first part of the motion. The second part of the motion is really to have a discussion, which I think is long overdue at DCSA. When DCSA was created, the schools were primarily what was used for electoral purposes. And what happened is you created membership classes based on what schools you attend. This creates issues. First of all, we have gone from, in terms of post-secondary students, which is who pays our membership fees, we have gone from having 9 schools to having 8 schools. The School of Preparatory and Liberal Studies no longer exists at Durham College, and there is not any post-secondary students in the new school of, I can't remember what it's called, but the successor school to that. So we would have 8 directors. The bigger issue is we have always had issues maintaining directors for a few schools, plain and simply. We have always had issues maintaining directors for the School of Skilled Trades, Apprenticeship, and Renewable Technology, now the School of Skilled Trades and Apprenticeship. To some degree, we've always had hit and miss in terms of the Center for Food, now the School of Hospitality and Horticultural Studies. So I think there's discussions to be had. How do we move forward? Do we move forward with, okay, let's just continue by schools? Or do we find new ways of doing things? Do we look at what's fair? The second part of the motion directs the standing committee to have these discussions and report back to the board.
If I can jump in here, I definitely think this is something that should be sent to standing committee to explore and have on the table and put in the work to bring back to the board.
Yeah. So that's what
there's nothing to be decided here, really, other than yes, the standing committee should go and have these discussions, and come back and report to the board, and that part A just again gets us in compliance for this year.
Yeah.
So really, the part A keeps the ship from sinking. Part B makes us float path it. I don't know how you finish it. metaphor, but you know what I'm saying. So that is the motion before you. Any questions?
No, I think it was very straightforward as it's written, and I definitely think with the school changing, we should keep Raul on our board and not change that. Obviously, not especially through mid-year of a term. Maybe this is something we rejig once this term is finishing for our board here. But yeah, I think thinking about this and talking about what our options are in the standing committee is the best option. So I will move if anyone wants to ask questions or second. Here's the time.
May I have a mover and a seconder?
Who's the seconder?
Sorry, Jenna moved. May I have a seconder, please?
Oh, yeah.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Deborah. All those in favor?
Hi.
I'm in favor. Yeah.
Everyone is in favor. All those opposed? Next item. Do I have to read two or did we cover two? Sorry.
2 is covered.
Okay, perfect.
It's one motion. It's
Okay.
just 2 parts.
Perfect. Section 10, any statements or questions by the board members? I have a question. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to ask questions, but I will ask one. For Booster Juice, are we going to allow external gift cards to be used at this Booster Juice location?
Yeah, don't have an answer for that yet, but I'll get one for you. Usually the answer is no on campus locations, but I will ask Lisa for what Booster Juice is allowing us to accept or not. It also may be a POS issue. We're not going with the standard Booster Juice POS. We have one that works with DC's security like specifications. So that's been approved and already actually been installed, and we're trying to make it work so it works with a food card. But I will get you an answer to that question as soon as I can. I'll ask Lisa tomorrow.
Thank you.
That just so everyone knows, I put the link to the City of Oshawa orientation event that's happening on the Friday, September or Saturday, September 10th. We're participating along with every other school and every other student union. Our team's been working really hard to make sure both our brand is represented in that and that it's a good event. So take a look at that website when you have a chance for that Saturday event.
Thanks, Faris. I've actually opened the link. I've clicked on the link. Yeah, that's good information. It's good to have the information, so we know what exactly it entails, the events entail. Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions or statements? No. Moving on, the
No supplementary agenda.
agenda. Okay. Next point, the next meeting. So the next standing committee is to be determined, but we are looking at the week of September 12th. Oh, sorry, Ferris, do you have something?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, are we going to send out something to the board now that most people have picked their class schedule?
We will.
Are we going to send out a survey to them so we can kind of lock down?
the day?
Because I think it would be like, once we know everyone's date for the semester, we can send out to everyone on the board the dates for every month's meeting. So I don't know. I think in the past, the chair has sent out maybe a survey just to see what time works best during the week and what day. So maybe we can work on that together and send something out in the next week or two.
Yeah.
So then I think it'd really help everyone if we just said, here are the dates for September to December based on the classes. So
yeah, and that is the plan.
yeah, so folks have the general week now, but you please look for an email from Meg with the time options. Usually it's going to be kind of 5 and 6 p.m. rotating between there to give people some time to get home or get from class and work.
We will be resuming hybrid as of September. That's the plan.
Yeah, and obviously there'll be a chance for people to come in if they'd like to come in. for a meeting. So there'll be more information coming out, but please, if you get an email from Meg, please fill out the survey, because it makes it really hard for us to plan meetings if we're not sure exactly everyone's schedule. And I know for all of you, I've gotten the request, could we please have the board schedule for, the whole semester, which is really fair for all of you. So please look for Meg's email in the next week or two. And please respond so that we know we're booking at a time that works for you.
And then additionally, on top of that, we are looking to have our next board meeting the week of September 26th, 2022. So just keep those 2 weeks locked in. I'm hoping to have a survey sent out to you by the end of this week so we can go forward with our schedules for the meetings for this semester. Any other statements or comments? Questions? I now call that the meeting be adjourned. May I have a mover and a seconder?
I will move.
Thank you, Jenna. Seconder. Thank
I'm
you.
seconding.
Raul.
I'm seconding the motion. Yeah. This is Deborah.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Hi.
In favor, yeah.
All those opposed?